Well, we truly have saved the best for last, and welcome to my kitchen. This is going to be the arc de triomphe, the pièce de resistance, the creme de la creme of all kitchen declutter videos, okay? She is nasty, so I'm giving you your one and only warning as we jump straight into the worst spot in my kitchen. And I had to start with this because honestly, it's a crime scene waiting to happen. This should not have ever ended up this bad. Yes, I know. You're on the edge of your seat already thinking, if this is the first one she's giving us, what's the rest gonna be like? Honey, I can't wait to show you. Anyway, in all seriousness, as you can probably tell, this is the junk drawer, okay? We have garbage bags, a lot of Panadol wrappers, and of course enough knives to start a home kill business. So we definitely had plenty places to start. And you know, one of the biggest ones I wanted to do was get rid of these stinking paracetamol wrappers. I don't know why I felt like I needed to hold on to them and try and recycle them. I was going to go and drop them off at a chemist's warehouse. So I've been holding on to them for months to do that. And then I ended up putting it in a bag. And I'm pretty sure my husband's just thrown that bag out through no fault of his own. So, you know, all of those months that I thought, oh, I'll get a big pack and then I'll drop it all off, it's gone. So I wasted that time. I wasted my space. It is what it is, right? C'est la vie. But don't worry, we are chronic headache people, so I'm sure I'll have that same amount in like a few months or less, honestly. So the drawer's already looking so much better now that I've gotten rid of that. I switched to my camera, and that's why it looks a little bit different here. It'll go back to normal later on. But yeah, apparently I also keep concealer, like a NARS concealer in there. That's the shade if you ever want to send me one, because they're like $60 here in Australia. And you mean I've got to take a home loan out just to get rid of my bags? Darling, please. Anyway, I have this acrylic organizer here in the drawer to try and like gather everything into one spot, which I mean, it does work for the first few weeks, maybe even the first month or so. And then once we get a little slack with it, it ends up with just about anything. I mean, like, I've got a door handle in here, a tampon, and an Aldi trolley coin. It's not exactly screaming, we're organized. Anyway, I basically just told myself that this time around, I would just throw out as much of the little things as possible, because in previous years, I've always told myself that I'll use it for something and that day will come at some point. But it honestly never does. And this is what happened. The junk builds up. I don't use it. And then here I am dealing with it 3-4 years later. Anyway, if you have any ideas of how to organize a junk drawer so it's less junky, let me know, because clearly this whole system is not working with us. I mean, my knife block is not even the knife block for the knives that I own. I picked it up from a op shop, a thrift store, whatever you want to call it, for like $3 and thought it was going to be fantastic, and then came home and realized not any of my knives fit in it properly. So that's fantastic, but I don't really see knife blocks that much anymore. And so I'm just going to stick with this. It seems better than them floating around in the drawer like they were previously. And then maybe I'll find one that can fit an array of knives, since we have such an oddball of knives anyway. So this drawer was completed. We moved on down to the next one. I honestly didn't think I was going to be able to pull anything out of here, because I felt like I used every single thing except for those weird circle things. I want to call it hibachi. I was wrong. It's takoyaki. I went through a phase, like a little hyperfixation, if you will, of making these Japanese little dough balls with things inside of it. And so we ended up with two, because one was not the right size and one was. And so we just yeeted the one that doesn't work, because what's the point? I'm not going to hold on to it. And honestly, I would have gotten rid of it, the other one too, between you and me. But for that one time in 3 years when he's going to need to use it again, I will hold on to it so I don't have to hear anything about it. Anyway, I just reorganized things because, as you can see, a lot of it fit inside each other, but it was just disorganized. And then we moved on down to our last drawer, and this is an amalgamation of just about every single thing that doesn't have a proper home in my kitchen. So I needed to clean it out desperately, because at the moment, it stores our honey jars, which is insane. It's just a whole thing. It's taking over my kitchen. Plus, it holds the steam that my husband uses. And of course, all the bags from my online shopping, okay? I don't know what you do with yours, but we personally like to turn them into recycling bags. So I hang them up on the door and put all my recyclables in there instead of using the dedicated recycling bin that I have. No, let's use the paper bags because I don't take them back to the shop to use them for the next shopping. I feel like I'm the only one. Well, no, I don't think I've ever actually seen anyone do it. If you have, let me know because I feel awkward doing that. I just buy a new one or I'll bring the plastic ones with me because I don't need them judging me on whether I've already bought that cardboard bag or not. It's 15 cents. Is it still 15 cents? I feel like they keep hiking the price up more and more. Soon they'll be $1 and I'll wish they were back to 10 to 15 cents. Spoken like a true boomer. Anyway, brace yourself, guys, for the next straw because when I was saying the honey thing was taking over my kitchen, hello, here we are. Every single jar that we don't use seems to end up here. And it was just getting to the point where I couldn't open and close the drawer anymore. And I thought, why? This is not, no, it's not working for me. So, goodbye to all the jars. I ended up just boxing them in one of the boxes that they came in with the lids on, and then I moved that out to my garage so that I didn't have to look after it because I don't know why here became the spot that they would stay, their final resting place, because honey, it's prime real estate. So I got rid of them and honestly it made the biggest difference. Plus I have like 6 of these jars that were from Kmart. I think they're like the 120 ml ones, the sort of smaller ones. None of them have lids. I think I found one lid and I have another one, but it's completely rusty. And let's be real, I'm never going to use a rusty lid. I'm not up for that kind of game. I don't live my life like that. So I think I ended up just keeping 2 of them and I use them just to put milk in so that my kids can be a little more independent. Well, my youngest in particular can be more independent in making her own cereal. So we leave that, or even just for like sauces for pancakes and stuff. But we've moved on to the condiment slash cutlery slash popcorn drawer. Honestly, it's an amalgamation of everything that I don't want to deal with. It's usually the Play Doh ingredients and basically all the random little condiments that come with like Happy Meals and anything that comes with like nuggets or something like that. I went through a phase of keeping them thinking we'd use them for like when we have nuggets, but I never eat nuggets. It's not really my thing unless it's from McDonald's. And my kids aren't big fans of sauces, so we don't use them. I mean, I like a Big Mac sauce, so I don't know why I was keeping so much sweet and sour. I never use it. I don't know. Anyway, it was time to let go and I did keep a lot of our utensils that come with food. So, like, these would be packs of like not cardboard, wood cutlery and serviettes. Because if you are not from Australia, then you probably don't know we have banned like plastic single use items such as plastic bags, spoons, takeaway containers, the straws. Oh, honey, what I would do to own a plastic straw again, okay? Yes, I have metal straws and they are good, but my gosh, when you get a drink from Boost or from McDonald's and you're halfway through it and that thing is just disintegrated in your mouth, oh, it's a frustrating feeling. Anyway, as you can see, there was some yellow food coloring that must have spilt in the drawer at some point, and it seemed the more I wiped, the worse it got because I thought I had gotten rid of it all. And then I moved the container and wiped again, and it smeared everywhere. For a hot minute, everything I touched became banana yellow, so that was a fun little moment. This is our everything but the bagel seasoning collection. Our friends used to make this stuff, plus we got the OG American version from my sister in law. And look, honestly, we forget that we have. I'm pretty sure I should put it in the next drawer down to use it more. But I did put it in some cream cheese on a bagel the other day, and I have been salivating ever since. I've been thinking about that stuff for so long. And I'm not really a deli sandwich kind of girl, but that stuff just, I don't know, it was so nice. But also, like, where did cream cheese go? Like, that just fell off the face of the earth. Because I swear my mum used to buy that stuff all the time, especially the one with the sweet chili sauce. And I bought that just recently as like a nostalgia thing. And I was like, oh, that's alright. But I wouldn't buy it again. I feel like it had its moment with the Jats crackers long ago. Anyway, we've moved on down to the Spice Town, and I have to say it's probably the most organized drawer that I have in this kitchen. I do love this system. It's all from IKEA. It is facing the wrong way, you've probably noticed by now. It actually does work great for when we're cooking on the stove or near the oven and needs spices and whatever. But it doesn't actually fit lengthways, and so this is what we had to do with it. So half of my spices were in the correct jars and half of them still don't have the right jars. But I hardly ever get to go to IKEA, so I never remember when I'm actually there to buy some more of these jars. But I did get this idea from At Home with Nikki on YouTube. I love her. She is a personal organizer and she is so good at what she does. Okay, I'm in love with it. Every single thing. Honey, she created organization, okay? Everything is in a jar, and then inside that jar, it is in another little bag. It is so organized. It's on a level that I will never be, but I'm in love. I've been talking for almost 12 minutes, so I will put a song in soon, but as you can see, this is where I put all my little storage bags and anything like that in here, and obviously my pasta. I could have made jewelry from it. There was so much floating around in there. It's not the best place for my pasta to be, but I do need to come up with some better organization for it. Anyway, that's blackstrap molasses. It's a long story, but it was stuck to the bottom of the drawer. So I've scraped it off just using a paint scraper. I used to have a proper kitchen one dedicated for the kitchen, but I lost it and I don't really care that much anymore. If it scrapes, it works, right? I actually got that wooden organizer for the plastic bags from Vinnie's, I think it was, for $10. Mine buys a lot from Amazon and sells it. $10 was a great price for that, so I picked it up. Anyway, we're in my second favorite drawer probably, because I really wanted to fill this drawer with the iDesign medium canisters, and I love them. I think they're perfect. They're so sleek. And I was going to fill this entire thing. Anyway, the worst thing could have happened ever. They discontinued them and I cannot find them anywhere. So sad to report, I don't know what I'm going to do with the rest of the drawer. If you have some ideas, let me know, because honestly, I have 4 of them. I don't know how to fill out the rest of it. I'm going to see if I can find some similar canisters from somewhere else. There has to be something else like this, or I'll just come up with some other design. But I really just wanted to put all my dry ingredient stuff, leftovers, anything that would normally be loose in a packet that I definitely don't put a clip on or a rubber band, I wanted to store in that and just make it feel more organized. I just finished off this drawer. There wasn't much more I could do. I ended up only keeping one white container in there. I just feel like they don't really work in this situation, because once something disappears into that container, I never look at it again. I always forget that it's there. Anyway, you're about to see a really cute moment with my son. He's been in there helping me with my face, so
like
it's so cute.
Like this or straight?
Okay, maybe we can put that in the box.
That's good. Then yeah, that means so there's space. So there's space for the other container. Huh?
Put it in there as well.
Yeah. Okay. It's not really. Then we got the lid.
Yeah. As you can see, we use this particular drawer for backups, and apparently I have a lot of almond milk. I'm obsessed with that particular brand, but I always have extra cereal, extra milk for my kids, because gosh, we do not want to run out of milk. Okay, it will be a sad day in this household. But it can very quickly be overrun with things that we definitely don't use or just throw in there because it doesn't have a proper home. So when I try to put stuff away after a grocery shop, it can get very frustrating very quickly, because I don't exactly have a large pantry, but I do have tons and tons of drawers. So for now, that's where the backups live. And of course, while I was doing this, we have to watch the great garden answer, especially when it's a tour. We love a tour video around here. I kept it at regular speed so you could see just how distracted I was getting from it. But it is time for a song, because honey, My voice is going, okay? Can you hear the sickness? We're going on day 3. I think I'm on the up and up, but my voice still can't handle all this talking. So for the last few months, maybe even the last year or so, these particular cupboards have just been doing my head in. Like, they are so disorganized. They are so far from what I would actually want, considering that I do try to put effort into organization. And honey, there was none in here, okay? So I decided that this was going to be my main project because I do make a lot of school lunches now, and this system is too far away from where I actually make the lunches. So you would have seen the clear tubs with snacks in it. That's purely for school, but that's not at all where I make my son's lunches. So I find myself walking back and forth from where I'm doing it, and I was just getting frustrated because I'm like, most of my house, if you see, especially near the stove, is where things make the most sense, right? Your spices are right next to you, fry pans are right there. I mean, you get it. It's all just supposed to be as cohesive as possible. But this was not making any sense. So I've swapped a few of them around, and this one that I'm working on right now was the one that probably needed it the most. It seems that I just put whatever I didn't want to deal with in this cupboard. And so today was the day. I wanted it as organized as I possibly could. I said goodbye to the library. That's the worst book I've ever read, by the way. So I was so happy to get rid of her. But I tried putting it in here, and then I stepped back for a minute and I was looking at it, and I just realized, no, I don't want it in there. Anytime I see these books, it feels heavy. Like it literally feels weighed down. And that's not the vibe that we're going for, you know? Like we're looking for a clean, sleek, organized design. And that's anything but that. So I took them all out, and you'll see later on where I put them. It looks amazing, by the way. Like, I'm so happy with the end result, and I feel like that's how it should always be when you're organizing something. You should feel like, hey, I've got heaps of space. Hey, I know where everything belongs. And yeah, I did have to bust out the old tongs and cloth situation because I'm a shorty. I couldn't reach the back of the cupboard even on the chair, and there was stuff all over the bench, obviously from the declutter. We just had to do it any way we could. There was no way I could put the stuff back in there knowing how dusty it was. So anyway, I removed so much stuff. I think so much of my kitchen declutter just came from these two cupboards. Like we had things like coffee cup and paint, and none of us use that. And I hold on to it thinking we will use it. Like I said earlier, I think I'll use it, and I'm like, oh, if I get rid of it, then I won't have it and I'll have to buy it next time. But then I don't use it, and it's just frustrating. So I told myself that this was the year that I would actually let go and make a noticeable difference in here. And I have to say, the results are so nice. Like, I would love to put some decor in here, and I've definitely thought about taking off the hinges and adding the decor, but I just can't be bothered. It's just not worth it for me at the moment. But who knows, like in a few years, I might do it and then be like, why didn't I do this earlier? But I feel like this particular cupboard that I'm working on is finally having its moment. Like, I feel like it looks organized and it's stylish and everything I've wanted, right? So eventually I might move whatever's up the top of that cupboard. But for now, she looks cute, right? Voila, it's amazing. And would I recommend those bamboo top glass containers? No, absolutely not. They don't keep any air out. They're horrible, and everything just dries out after a while, which is probably why people donated them after the craze left. But you know what? It is what it is. I just put stuff that doesn't really dry out in it anymore. And that'll just have to do because I'm not Khloe Kardashian and I don't have amazing home organizers to do everything for me. So anyway, we've moved on to another problem spot. For me to be able to move all the stuff over from that previous cupboard we worked on, I had to be able to clear out this cupboard to make space, because this is where my whole lunchbox system is going to go, because this is where I make them pretty much daily, and so it's just what makes the most sense. And I did have to give it a good scrub. All of them were nasty, and honestly, in here is I don't know, tons and tons of crap. Literally, I never go in here, and so your guess is as good as mine as to why it got such prime real estate for junk. I don't know. I honestly don't know, okay? It's a mystery. I think I just put it in there and be like, oh, I'll deal with it later, and later never comes. If you haven't noticed by now, I'm completely winging this and I have no idea what I was doing. So I had previously bought these crates from IKEA, and I was going to put them in my fridge and store like my fruit and vegetables and stuff in that, but they were just like way too big for the space and was going to frustrate me so much. So I decided not to do that and leave them in the cupboards. But over time, they've just collected every little thing. I mean, look at that. No one is going to go, oh, yes, I know exactly where a tennis ball is, and come in here and get one. Like, no, it's just not going to happen. So 90%, maybe 85% of that stuff just got thrown out. And what I could save that I know we'd use, I saved. Everything else, it just had to become a whole new thing. And I think that's one of the things about doing declutters regularly, is that it evolves with you. What you wanted a few years ago is not what you need now, in the present, in the future, etc. So letting go and being able to move on and realizing, hey, this doesn't work for me, is the great thing about this. Because look at me, 3 years ago, I'm holding on to this. Like, what do you mean? I'm not going to look for my coffee table corner covers and my one bottle of paint or stream. You know, like, none of that crap is ever going to be looked for. So I'm moving on, I'm evolving, and it's turning into a space that I will use regularly. And I can tell you now, after it being like this for a little bit, I am still obsessed with it. I still love it. It's just so freeing to make it something that actually works for me. Oh my gosh, I'm listening to this back and thinking how desperately I need a TED talk or something. Not me telling you how freed I feel. Anyway, this is what I decided to do with the books. I did end up decluttering a whole bunch of them because they obviously weren't all gonna fit in there, but I kept a few of the ones that I enjoyed or would read again. The rest will find another home, but this ended up being so nice and it actually looks really good. And I can't even tell that the books are up there, as you can see. So I guess I found a use for these crates after all. But as I said, I did make this into the lunchbox prep area and I put all the snacks in these clear containers. We've just gone down for 1 minute to get all the Tupperware and bring it back up the top because I felt like this Tupperware section was not working at all. I was getting so frustrated and I would organize it and try to make it look cute and it would last for half a second, mostly because it's just below eye level. And so it's just frustrating having to like reach down into that like cave like area and get something. And I can say it has been a minute since I've done it, but it has stayed so nice and neat. Maybe because I've put extra effort into it. But yeah, it's worked out so great for us and wished I had done it so much sooner.
Why don't we say that it's too late for us now? Why do we stay when I blame you for the things that weigh me down? 'Cause in the echo of your silence, I only hear what's best for me. Yeah, in the echo of your silence, I'm thinking more of her. She who wants to study your body, who gets the better version of you. I need the bitter truth. I need the better version of you. I need the better version of you. I need the better you. You talk about faith. Is it just something you say? Or is it the same with that girl you texted when I look away? 'Cause in the echo of your silence, I only hear what's best for me. Yeah, in the echo of your silence, I'm thinking more of her. She who wants to study your body, who gets the better version of you. I need the bitter truth. I need the better version of you. I need. I need the better version of you. I need the better.
If you don't know, my husband is quite the collector of spices, spice rubs, any international food, especially when it comes to Japanese style food. But he doesn't have the greatest memory and often buys multiples of the same thing or forgets that he has something and it just doesn't end up getting used. So I decided that I would go through it for him because he is a very busy man. And if I asked him to do it, honestly, I don't know if it would get done this year or next year. So I went through it, and obviously, I didn't throw anything out without asking him. I feel like that's just a given at this point. Like, I wouldn't do that because I don't want to hear in a month, oh, where's this thing? And I've thrown it out. I just go, okay, that's just, I don't need more stress in my life. Anyway, so I went through it. There was a few things that were like a couple years out of date, and just a lot of rubs that he uses for meat that were basically at the end but had just kind of become a ball, like clunked together. As you can see, this is what I got rid of, which was quite a bit, and he didn't want anything back from that pile. So I was very happy with that. I was like, that's a win, okay? If he's not asking to put half of it back, I'm so happy. Welcome to under my sink. We won't be here very long because it was only dirty. It really wasn't much I wanted to get rid of. But I did find this little grey box that I'm holding, which we have been looking for so long, and I forgot I had actually put it in there. And I just realized, obviously, that's never going to work because I have little tools everywhere around the house, and I always remember that I think I'm going to remember where it is, if that makes sense. And I don't remember that I'm going to remember that something's in my kitchen, and then I feel like I've lost another thing. So I'm going to put it all out into the garage since I redid all of that, and now we know where the tools are going to be. It's honestly saved my life, that thing. I'm obsessed and wished I had done that to the garage so much sooner. But yeah, so I'm glad that I found that and can actually put it back because we need those things all the time. But as for everything else, it pretty much just stayed the same because I don't have that much under here. I would like to eventually have done the clear storage systems. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but that's the style that I like. It's more on Pinterest, but this is it. Like for now, I think it cost me like $15-20 to organize under there, and I'm happy with that. So anyway, welcome to my giant lazy Susan that we never use. We had stored so many sauces on there. As I said earlier, my husband loves a good sauce. And so this area had just become full of it, which I don't mind because that's kind of what it's designed for, right? But I had a lot of really tall ones in there that just wouldn't let us actually spin the Lazy Susan, which what's the point of having one if you can't do that, right? So I just decluttered them and just picked the ones that fit in there, and all the bigger ones went to a different spot. Anyway, down the bottom here, we just have all our platters and trays, anything like that. I tried to fit this cute little food cover in here, and it kind of ruins the clean aesthetic look, but whatever. I just have to do what I can do with that space. I'm a little out of breath because I just got a delivery, and he always comes at the most random time with deliveries. So if I'm like fighting for my life over here, that's why. Over on this side of the kitchen is our narrow drawers, which we keep our cutlery and basically any utensils that we use throughout the kitchen for cooking. And I decided that it just needed quite a declutter. It had become almost unusable in the next drawer because things were just everywhere. And it gets to the point where I'm just like, I need to step away. Like, what can I do with this? This is too much stuff. So I just took it back to the basics. I got rid of a few things that were half broken or just about ready for the bin and just did it. Like I finally let go and was like, I don't need this, because I think I counted I had 8 tongs and I literally maybe only used 2 pairs a week. Sorry, I'm like a bit sick and puffed out from that delivery. So anyway, I got this bamboo organizer from Target back in the day. Rest in peace, Target, because now she's just basically another Kmart. Still mad apparently. Anyway, I do find that it works pretty well, just except for these smaller compartments in the middle. I find I can put barely anything. It's usually just the measuring cups, but otherwise I would maybe see if there's one that works better for me. But I've lived with it for so long, like why would I bother changing it now? Like I've made it work. And you'll see in the next drawer below that I hardly have filled that one up, and all the pieces that don't fit here I just moved down there. So I mean, I just don't want to waste my money on things that's not a necessity, because there is so many other places in my home that I haven't yet organized. So I will leave this, but if you have any ideas for awkward items, let me know. Or is it just a thing, like is there just no organizing it and the next drawer is how they're supposed to be stored? Anyway, I'm about to show you it, and don't judge, please. This is it. I've shoved all the plastic bags at the back of the drawer. I can't even speak at the moment. I'm in shell shock about how bad this is. Yeah, I just shoved them in the drawer, and you know what? It is what it is. But I did decide that these gorgeous little things that I got on clearance from Target, I would open and actually put in with all my other cheese, knives and stuff like that, because why am I saving it? Like, what am I going to save it for? There wasn't much I could actually do to this drawer. I just decluttered as much as I could. And I've left it because I feel like there's no organizing this kind of crap in my house. So I can't believe we're actually onto the last drawer somehow. This went so quick because I did this day by day rather than in one long day and stress myself out. But yeah, we've finally reached the end and you'll see how much I've actually decluttered, which I was shocked, honey. I was shocked. Oh my gosh, you guys. Can you believe we finally got through this whole declutter series? It has been insane. I hope you've subscribed because we definitely have a lot more cleaning and decluttering to do in this house. There is always something. I spun around here and I was like, oh no, I'm too old to be playing games right now. No more spinning. But I did have 3 of those big bags. Probably. I've thrown most of them out because I couldn't handle it sitting on my floor in the kitchen for so long and not paying rent at all. Most of it's gone, but I needed this one just for a thumbnail because, you know. But your girl's been on it. I have donated a lot of it, the stuff that I could anyway. I don't know if you can hear that. The rain's decided to join us for the very end. But I just wanted to say, as always, thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.